What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Brew podcast. I'm your host, Kayla, and I'm bringing you authentic conversations with creatives to get the human experience behind the art. Before we start, make sure you're following the podcast on Spotify and Instagram so you don't miss any of my uploads. And stay tuned for a very special announcement at the end of this episode. Today, I'm in a coffee shop with Austin-based musician Lew Apollo to take a deep dive into his debut album, Fool's Gold. Grab your brew of choice, and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, you ready?
Sure, yeah.
All right, well, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited we could meet.
Yeah.
To kick things off, can we start with your name and where you're from?
Yeah, my name is Lew Apollo, and I'm based in Austin, Texas, from northern Minnesota originally.
Oh, hell yeah. It's much warmer here than...
It was such a drastic change, it's unbelievable.
I can't even imagine what you were going through
Oh my
with
gosh.
that.
I moved in August, like 7 years ago, to my first Austin apartment, and it was like 107 degrees, I think.
Holy shit.
It was wild, for sure.
That's actually insane.
Yeah.
So we're about to take a deep dive here. So I just wanted to make sure that you're comfortable talking about everything.
Absolutely. I'm an open book. Yeah.
Dope. So your website calls out your father's suicide as sort of the catalyst for your music and your career.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable breaking down how that event sort of drove you towards music?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me and my father shared a gigantic bond in music in general, and that's really what formed our relationship, I think, later on when I picked up the guitar around 15. So that was kind of the huge inspiration in general. And then his passing, we always talked about music, and music was always the forefront of our relationship. And so his passing really kind of ignited a fire in me to just prove to him that I could do it, because he was always my number one fan, and always really just believed in me more than anything. So it was just really a driving force for me.
That's so special. Did he teach you how to play, or?
No, well, I guess a little bit. Both him and my mom both played acoustic guitar. So they both kind of taught me chords here or there, but at a certain point I started kind of learning myself and watching YouTube videos and things like that. But his music taste and stuff was definitely a huge thing in my upbringing, with his folk music taste and everything, and his love for all genres, really. He was not locked into one, so it really kind of made me love everything too. So
that's super cool. Do you think about him when you're writing your songs? Do you kind of envision?
Yeah, no, for sure. So this album coming out here early next month, it's funny because a lot of it, after listening back, a lot of it is about him, but writing them specifically, I wasn't really thinking about him as much. He's definitely the driving factor, and always kind of the overarching theme of what I'm thinking about, always, I think. So I think a lot of sub feelings and emotions are attributed because that's the big feeling that I'm feeling, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I wrote a lot about my personal life and everything, and relationships and things. But then listening to the album as a whole, I realized that it's really all from that overarching emotion that I was having through all these little experiences. So yeah, absolutely.
It's super interesting because Heather shared with me your album to listen to ahead of time. And listening to it, at first listen, you wouldn't know that it's about such deep and meaningful things, because it is very funky and groovy and really fun to listen to.
Well, thank you.
And then you kind of break it apart into the lyrics, and you're wait a minute, this is actually really deep.
Pretty dark. Yeah. Yeah, so I like to say that it's rose-tinted. That's kind of the description I always use, because kind of like my sunglasses here, they're rose-tinted, but there's a lot of darkness underneath and heavy themes, but thankfully I think at least I've packaged it in a way, and just by coincidence, they're very kind of, some are upbeat and things, so you wouldn't really think, unless you're really a lyricist, study of the lyrics. But yeah. For sure.
No, that's super cool. And before we kind of break down your actual album and the music, I'd love to take a moment to honor your father. And I was just wondering if you could tell me what kind of person he was, and what was your favorite memory or something.
Well,
about
thank
him.
you for saying that.
Of course.
But yeah, he was a great man. He was the epitome of a great father. Just super strong, physically and mentally. But he's just a great man. And so he he was so accepting of everything. You know, I grew up in a very like blue collar, very, very, very small town of like 400 people in northern Minnesota. Yeah, not just in the middle of the woods, small. Kind of. Yeah, very small. And I graduated with 42 people, I think, in my graduating class in high school. I grew up very like blue collar, like hardworking family, and I have an older brother by 4 years, and so he and I were very much like early on into sports in high school and growing up, and my dad was an athlete, and both me and my brother are athletes, but he was very much like the hometown hero, if you will. Nice. You know, and so everyone was like, oh, you know, everyone referred to me as my brother Dylan's little brother, and so when I ended up quitting basketball in my 10th grade year, I was very nervous as to my father's reaction to say, hey, I'm quitting to focus kind of on music, you know, to kind of play guitar. And I was very nervous because I thought that's what he was all about. But he was like relieved almost, and not relieved in a way, but like super like empowered by me that I decided to kind of chart my own path at that moment. And so that was kind of a really defining moment in my childhood, I guess, and upbringing, where like he was just a dad that was so accepting of everything and just so kind. You know, he on his exterior, he was very like hard edged. He's 6'4", like 300 pounds. He was a big dude. Yeah. But he was very much like a northern Minnesotan guy. But he was a teacher, and so he taught like third grade, I think. And he was such a gentle giant. He was such a gentle giant. Yeah, and such a nice guy. So very much attributed like all my life to him for sure. You know,
that's great.
And absolutely, really good-hearted. So.
He sounds like a wonderful person.
Yeah, he was great.
And so we're here to discuss your album, Fool's Gold, your debut album. And it comes out August 8th, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. What can we expect from the album?
Oh man, that's a big question. I like to say that it's like a dive and look into kind of the world I'm trying to create with my music, really trying to open the door of talking openly about mental health and my own personal struggles and everything, and try to relate that to anyone who connects with the music, you know? So yeah, it's really kind of this world I'm trying to build based on all my influences musically, and trying to tell my story through it. So I hope if it impacts people that they feel empowered to do the same in a way.
I definitely think it will.
Oh,
which song off the album do you feel has the most interesting backstory behind it?
Ooh, that's really good. Man, that's a good question. I guess really it's hard to answer because they're all like my children, if you will. You know what I mean? Where like they all like have a really special place in my heart. I would say "Die for You," which is the second to last track on the album, it's one of the oldest songs I have. I wrote a few years ago, prior to even thinking about recording an album. I really was thinking about like relationship struggles and things like that, and really kind of in a dark place that way. And I kind of wrote it, as a relationship song. However, it was then produced by my good friend Juwan, and it kind of took a different R&B turn, and then it kind of inspired me to reproduce it as well. And so I was kind of struggling with the sonically the song in general. So like then I finally found how I think it should all glue together, and the song lyrically really took on a new meaning after my father passed, because it has like some effects in there and everything, and very kind of like, it's very dark and emotional lyrics. So yeah, it really brought on a new meaning after he passed. So I think the whole story behind the inception of that song, and then the meaning it took on, like, are probably the song that most shocked me, if you will. Yeah.
So did you have that one written before he had passed?
No, for sure. Yeah, written and mainly produced, and not to get like super dark here or anything, but there's for instance, like a gunshot effect that it really shines through in this song. That I produced that, and I added that about 4 months or so before my father passed.
That's really interesting.
And so so it all kind of came together, and it was very weird after listening to it after he passed and realizing it. And I'm just kind of shaking my head at the title and everything. But really, at its core, is a love song, and is saying like, I would die for you. I at least want to see the person that you ended up being with and stuff, because like I just can't take this anymore. And so that's kind of from the perspective of my father, I think, through it all. So yeah, really took on multi-layered, and sometimes these songs are difficult for me to talk about, not because of the emotion side, but because it's so layered in my mind and everything through the writing process and through the different meaning it quickly shifted to have. after his passing. So yeah, that's probably the one with the deepest story and everything. Yeah.
Awesome. I think it's all super interesting.
Yeah,
So if you have to like peel back the
Right,
layers,
right.
that's fine. I think that's
yeah,
really
I'll probably
cool.
just keep blabbing on, but it's very multi-layered. So I try to really
that's
explore all of
super
it.
neat. And like kind of paired in with that, is there a lyric or lyrics to a song that you're like the most proud of off of the album?
Yeah, the song "Feeling Okay" was one that kind of surprised me as well, and that's the last track, and it's very just recorded with one microphone, me singing and playing acoustic guitar live, and that kind of came to me within like 15 minutes before we were leaving. Me and my wife were leaving somewhere one day, and I kind of wrote it really quick, didn't think anything of it for about 6 months until we were in the studio, and I was showing my friend and engineer Victor Gasper. I was showing him some tracks and just some ideas to see what else this album needed, you know. And he said when he heard that one, he got goosebumps. He's like, "You have to do that one. That one's so powerful." And I was like, I didn't think anything of it. After re-listening to it, I realized it is kind of my darkest and heaviest song. But then it was only a couple weeks ago that my wife said, I was talking about that song, and she said, "Oh, you think of that as like a dark song? I think of that as like a happy and positive song." And I was like, "Really?" And so just the last couple weeks, I kind of, whenever I've heard that song, I kind of now take it as a positive, which the lyric is, and when I wake up, I hope I don't remember my name. The chorus is of that song. And I took that as like a very dark thing, like I don't want to know who I am. But then she took it as, I hope I don't remember my name, saying leave the past behind you, and every day is new. I hope I don't remember like the dark parts of my life and just start every day fresh.
Is your wife an optimist?
That's funny. Not really generally, I guess. I mean, on some things, she's very much a realist. So yeah, very much a realist. So if it's a good thing, she'll see it as good. If it's a bad thing, she'll see it as bad. But yeah, so that song kind of brought on new meaning. That lyric I'm really proud of in that way because it has such a duality.
Yeah, that's super awesome. How would you describe your whole album in 3 words if you had to?
I'm kind of a talker, as you can probably hear, so it's tough for me to boil it down to 3 words. I would say the 3 words that come to me are rose-tinted depression. That's what I would say. No, but yeah, I guess I'll stick with that. But that's not to say it's
through life. So
right, rose, right.
Realistic.
That's not to say it's you need to be sad listening to it. It's a very happy sounding record sometimes, and it's just a very real record.
Yeah, you also.
I should say rose-tinted realness. That's what I should say. Yeah.
Depression's funnier.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
The album is self-produced.
It is.
Which is extremely impressive and very cool.
Oh, thank you.
What was the hardest part of that process? Because I know nothing about it.
Yeah. I didn't really think twice about producing it myself because at home when I was demoing these songs and everything, I had a very particular sound in my head I wanted to do. And I guess, my own creative control stepped in and kind of I didn't think twice about sending it to anyone to do themselves. And at that time, a couple years ago, I was heavily learning production through my mentor, I'd say, even though he's younger than me, Black Odyssey, his name is, his artist name is, but a really good friend of mine for the past years and produced my first EP that's out. But through him, I really saw this opening and I fell in love through production in general, and I saw how he did it, so I kind of was just copying his stuff, throwing in my own elements and things. But I really didn't think twice about sending it to anyone because I had a very clear vision in mind for it musically. My engineer, Victor Gasper, really helped me immensely to see my vision through. But yeah, so I really fell in love with production a couple years ago, and that's what drove the whole songwriting. I saw it as a half of songwriting, as writing the song and then producing it was really the other half. So
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you hidden any like Easter eggs or any silly sounds in your songs?
There's some stuff in the song "Sweeter." There's a little like arcade noise in there and things. But there's some stuff. There's this other side project and things that I'm planning on releasing in the future at some point. And, you know, I kind of took some of those songs that I had and kind of rearranged some of them for instance, the very end of the record. So eventually, when we're hopefully talking about that record as well, maybe a couple years down the line or so, there's similar chord patterns in the last song and then the start of the next album. But yeah, I really produced and wrote the album, and we arranged it in such. Me and Victor and my wife helps as well immensely. We arranged it in such where, you know, it's kind of a delve into like darkness in a way and the darker themes throughout the record. So it starts off very like bubbly and rose-tinted, as I was saying, and then it kind of like progressively gets more and real and everything. So our thought process behind that was the last song, then if you're sad with the last song, then just start the record over again and jump to the top and then just, you know, keep going through the cycle. So
which kind of ties in too, because at least when I'm feeling depressed, if I'm like binge watching a show, as soon as it ends, I go right back to the beginning because it's like a comfort loop. So I don't know, that kind of makes sense to me. Exactly.
So that's how we kind of arranged it eventually. But.
Nice. So I like to kind of use the last questions to be a little bit more silly and lighthearted.
Sure, yeah. So
No Room in Hell is out now. I am curious, what would your personal 7 circles of hell be?
Oh, man.
And it could be stupid because mine is like people without socks.
Right, yeah.
That.
No, I'm trying to think. I like to gripe a lot. Like, my friends know that I like to like complain a lot about things because, you know, I'm Italian and Greek, and I think that's kind of in our DNA. But I would say slow walkers. Me and my wife have that in common. Slow people at HEB. Not that I'm so fast, but like if people are in the way, like, you know, he'll send me for a loop. But that, people without socks, that's a really good one. Yeah. Shoes without socks. Yeah. I would say like complainers, even though I just said I'm a big complainer, but like complainers about stuff that, you know, like that is, you know, we can't do anything.
Like dumb stuff.
Yeah, dumb stuff. Yeah, dumb stuff. But I lightheartedly just roast everything and complain about everything. But that, people who don't use their turn signals, that's probably a really common one.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, man. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
That's fair. Those are all very good.
I'm sorry. If I think of more, I will think of more before we're done, and I'll let you know.
You'll probably text me like a list.
I'll text you a list. Yeah, that's something I really need to think about. Yeah.
No, that's so valid. A standout song for me is...
People who say Whataburger is good.
Whataburger?
Yeah.
Like the way they pronounce it?
No, people who say that it's good.
Oh.
Unless you think it's good.
It's not. No.
You don't like it either?
I like their shakes, and that's it.
I don't mind their patty melt.
Their food is just okay.
I think it's just okay, right? I mean, I'm a Pete Terry's guy. I know that's only in Austin, but I'm madly in love with Pete Terry's. So, but not Whataburger.
People that think Whataburger is good is the fifth circle of hell.
Fifth circle of hell. Yeah. No, for sure. Like I said, I'll think of more.
No, these are all great. Oh my gosh.
No, Whataburger, don't. If you hear this, I'm just kidding, man.
I feel that way about Cracker Barrel. Like,
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel is to die for. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
For sure. Or like, yeah, for sure. Cracker Barrel is, yeah.
And Cracker Barrel tastes like food poisoning to me.
It does.
But, you know, that's just
no,
an
for
opinion.
Sure. So. Yeah, that's a correct assumption. Yeah.
A standout song for me is Addicted. What's a non-conventional thing that you're addicted to?
I guess espresso would be conventional. It's pretty conventional that you're addicted to coffee, but I'm heavily addicted to coffee.
Me too.
Probably the extent that I'm addicted to coffee, or like, I mean, I'm very surprised. I just came from another coffee shop, and I'm very surprised that I didn't just turn around, and I know we're in a coffee shop right now.
More coffee.
I'm very surprised I didn't grab some more. But
I feel the same.
That and like pasta, but that's conventional too, because I am like Italian.
Pasta's
so like
delicious.
Pasta and pizza.
No, I always joke that I need coffee to be pleasant and agreeable.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're getting a different person.
And I would specify iced coffee as much as like hot coffee in the morning. You know, like I'm a hot coffee guy, and then iced coffee is just as essential at like 2-3 p.m.
Yeah, my mom's like, iced coffee is gross. Oh. Iced coffee is superior in my opinion.
I think so too sometimes. Yeah.
Except for Christmas, but you know, it's hot here,
right.
So like.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Anyways, one of the songs, as we mentioned, is called Feeling Okay. Mm-hmm. As someone who also has depression myself, how are you feeling now?
Feeling really good.
That's great.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I don't want people to think that they need to like run to my rescue or something to like after they hear this record, because I was feeling great while I was making it and writing it, and this was really my therapy, is writing these songs, and so I guess you could say I was kind of the one that had to be okay to be there for my older brother and my mom through this whole experience. It obviously was the most difficult thing in my life, but I was feeling okay through it all and feeling really good now. So yeah.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
That's great to hear. And last thing, I do a segment called Artists Asking Artists. And so the last band that I had on is Mock Lobster, and they're an Austin-based cover band for the B-52s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they had 2 questions. They wanted to know which debut album impacted you the most or was your favorite? Like which artist like hit it right off the bat?
Hit it right off the bat. So many. There's so many. Leon Bridges' debut album was perfect in my opinion. I think Coming Home was the title. There's a band called Kaleo. Their debut album, A.B., was probably the most complete, and like I just loved every song so much off that album. Even though I'm not really a big like blues rock fan as much anymore, that's kind of where I started. Now I'm more like neo soul and everything. But that album had a big impact on me when it came out in like 2016, I think.
Nice.
But so many artists like Led Zeppelin, their first album was phenomenal and everything. So many bands. I love everything. So yeah.
Great. And Corbin specifically would like to know, where do you get your clothes? Because he Googled you. And as I can tell, you're very stylish.
Oh, I
appreciate it. And he said, asking for himself, where do you get your clothes?
No, for sure. I'm a huge Zara snob. So I love the brand Zara, even though they're like kind of pricey sometimes, and I probably shouldn't be buying their clothes sometimes. Yeah, they're like curation and everything I love, and hopefully they hear this because I'd love to work with them on stuff.
All right, well, Corbin, haul your ass to Zara.
Yeah, get your ass to Zara, exactly. And we're at the Domain right now, and I tried to go to Zara actually, like right before I was here. I was running late, and I tried to stop in there. And
well,
they have
now
like,
you could go by after.
Right, could go by after, but they had like construction going on, so I was like, oh no, I don't know if
lame.
They're open. So yeah.
Sneak in the back.
Right, exactly.
And so now you can ask any question you want for my next guest, but I'm not sure who it is yet.
Okay.
So there's no hints.
I would say if you could write a song about any emotion, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And then if you could live in any city, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Worldwide?
Worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, you can live in any city, not including like U.S., like what
any
European or any other country, right?
Nice, that's a good one. And then now is the time for shameless self-promo. Talk about your album. Where could people find you?
Yes, they can find me on all streaming services, YouTube Music, Spotify, of course, Apple Music, everything. Vinyl coming out August 8th called Fool's Gold, the album's title, August 8th. And then we're doing our album release show at Antone's August 7th.
Oh, sick.
With my good friend's Brother Thunder opening the show. And that's going to be the biggest show of the year, probably the last show we do in Austin for a while. So that's going to be the time to see us and to hear the whole album front to back, plus some other songs. But that's going to be a big party.
Awesome. Well, that's all I got. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
This is so fun.
Thank
I hope you get time
to
go to Zara and make Corbin jealous.
right. Corbin, haul your ass to Zara. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Get to Zara. Go shopping with Lew.
Exactly. I'll take them, sure.
That's all for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Lew's debut album, Fool's Gold, is out next week, and I can't wait for you to hear it. Big news, on the next episode, I've got Austin's very own Mama Duke from season 20 of America's Got Talent. We're unpacking it all, and she tells me why it feels so good to be you. Make sure you're following the podcast on Spotify so you don't miss that drop.